Hello everyone, Crazy Blind Jake here with another affordable weapon review. Today we actually have a little bit of a gem, well, for the price point. And normally this company has dubious quality swords, but you know what? For once they did something okie dokie a-okay. Today we are looking at Deepeeka's, and I'm going to butcher this name, Deepeeka's colichemarde. I don't know if it should be said with an accent, but I'm going with it because I want to. Anywho, this is one of their versions of the colichemarde, which came about in the late 1600s or so, around, the time the rapier was falling out of favor and the small sword was becoming more popular for civilian self-defense, so on and so forth. So essentially, it's your quintessential gentlemanly fencing sword of straight variety, not to be confused with other fencing swords like sabers, cutlasses, etc., though they did exist along the same time frame with each other, yada yada yada. And yes, fencing is a very broad term. We won't go there. Anyways, but most people, when they think fencing, they think rapiers and small swords and cutlasses and sabers. You get the idea. Anywho, let's jump into this little beauty. Now, this sword itself doesn't have your typical blade, but we'll get into that. It's more of like a long pointy spike. It is for thrusting and piercing. I will say, despite Deepeeka's dubious reputation and some rough around the edges things about this sword overall, I am very happy with the purchase. I didn't have to pay for sharpening. And it was around $100. And I actually did quite a bit of practice with it yesterday, which I haven't done in a while. I was looking for something lightweight that won't aggravate my injuries. And I was very pleased with this. It didn't do too bad. It definitely could slay some cardboard boxes. So I'm good with that. For the time being. And I didn't think I would like this style sword as much as I do. But I think I might invest in a much better quality one from another company later on. Anywho. So, let's look at this hilt. The detailing is fairly nice. I'm not sure if my camera will pick this up. Yes, the hilt is a little small. But that's okay. Because the way they constructed the hilt, other than this really nice design features that they do have, decorative features that are really nice. Oh, come along now, camera. Why won't you cooperate for me? But aside from the aesthetic beauty of it, simple but nice, it does actually have 2 finger holes there for control and for different grips, which I admire, and it has a guard above that. I'm not sure if you can get the right angle on there, but it has a guard above that as well. The scabbard's decent. It's your typical, windlass, Deepeeka, insert company here scabbard, but not bad. I will say the rings for hanging definitely feel a little chintzy, but that's not a big deal. You could always replace those with something else if you wanted. Overall, the scabbard is nice aesthetically and very functional. It's a little tight, so it makes this lovely screeching sound when you draw it from the scabbard. But that's an easy fix. One person, I guess, had one of these and fixed it with a little bit of file work. I'm not so worried about it. I don't care. But overall, not bad quality on the scabbard, and the hilt is very nice. And I like the grip, too. The grip is both pretty and functional. Very surprisingly comfortable. I did cut open one of my knuckles, but I think that might have been a me thing, not a sword thing. If I didn't do it on this sword, then I did it when I was doing some practice swings with another sword I reviewed made by this company. And the hilt construction on that was awful. But I will say, I put this through its paces yesterday, slaying some cardboard. And seeing how well an old blind guy can do against a skinny cardboard box. And it did really well. I expected it to fall apart. I expected it to become loose. Because even though it was a cardboard box, it was stuffed with other things, and I gave it a real what for. And surprisingly, she stood up just fine. Now, give me 1 second while I screechingly pull this from the scabbard, probably, and we'll have a look at the blade. So bear with me for just a moment. Do 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 do. Non-script waiting music. All right. So I don't think you can necessarily tell here on camera, but it's not completely flat. It's almost triangular in shape. As you can tell, it goes from very wide down here at the bottom, and then it narrows right here, and that's when it becomes very much, I'm going to say flat yet triangular in shape. It's the best way I can describe that. And like I said before, this is not a sword. This particular design of the colichemarde is not meant to necessarily be sharp on the edges. It's for poking. No, it's for piercing and thrusting. So the tip is more than adequate for that. It doesn't have to be razor sharp to penetrate with the right kind of force and momentum behind it. The blade has plenty of flex. Now granted, I'm not a big fan of the type of steel used in this sword, but you know something, for the price point and for what it is, it works just fine. I'm very, very happy with this, actually. I did not think I would be so happy with such a cheap sword that wasn't like a tactical sword or something like that. I was like, I'm getting another Deepeeka sword. I'm probably going to be unhappy. 1 out of 3 is better than none. I have 3 Deepeeka swords in my collection, and 2 out of 3 made me very disappointed for what they were. This one, I would buy again. If I broke it, I would buy another one. I actually really like it. I'm sorry, I'm not the best camera person. If I can get the end here. Sorry for my shoddy camera work, folks. You can kind of see how the end of the blade is shaped a little bit. I really, really like this. I've been looking for a lightweight sword, like I said earlier, because I have some injuries, and using more medieval style, like long sword or hand and a half sword or what have you, seems to be not comfy on my joints anymore. So I said, you know what, let's go with something similar to a small sword or something in that family, something really lightweight, you know, give it a shot, and I'm surprisingly pleased with this. If you have a chance to pick one of these up, go for it. If you don't want to spend the money on a more expensive style of this sword, pick this one up. It's like around $100. You won't be disappointed. I can't remember what I gave it on KOA for a review, but you know what? Normally I'd only give it like a 4 out of 5. But you know something? For the price point, and it's specifically because of the price point, and because I did actually practice with this, I'm sorry I don't have any testing videos, I just did it on a whim, I'm going to give this 5 out of 5. For what it is. Is it the best sword in the universe? No. Is it going to be the best steel in the universe? No. Is it the end-all, be-all, gentlemanly self-defense sword? No. But for $100, I think you'll be very surprisingly pleased. So, the Deepeeka colichemarde, still probably butchering that, I'm going to give that 5 out of 5 stars, folks. Go pick one up today. If you've got $100 laying around, you want something to practice that style of sword fencing with, go for it. Slay some cardboard. And as always, be safe, have fun, have an awesome day.